Hi, this is Trevor Conkergood. Welcome to this week's RNK Software Club's video for the week. And our topic for this week is how to create and save a symbol to make it easy to reuse your embroidery again and again. And so let's go ahead and bring my workspace nice and large and learn all about symbols. And so first of all, I'm going to point out that the airplane is a symbol. And it came from the tool is on the top of our workspace on the right. It's a yellow clover shape. It says symbol when you hover over it. And when I click on it, my properties box shows me the airplane. And if I click and drag, you'll notice that I can create an airplane. And in fact, once you turn on your symbol tool, you will keep creating airplanes until you tell it, to stop, right? Which would be, I guess, one way to stop would be to right click. Right click is always kind of like end. And you'll notice now that the airplane is gone from the properties area. And if I click and drag now, I'm simply drawing a box for selecting. I'm no longer creating airplanes. But if you want to make more symbols, then you simply find the tool up here at the top. And when you click on it, then you can go back to making as many airplanes as you want. And you'll notice that as I click and drag, the further I drag my mouse, the larger the airplane will get. And I can control the orientation of my airplane and the size of it. So right now I'm holding the mouse down, the button on my cursor, like on my mouse, to make it any size and orientation. And when I'm happy, I simply let go and it makes the stitching. And there's a whole collection of symbols that the program comes with. You would click on the selector on your properties box, scroll down, choose the one that you want, and then click and drag to create. So symbols are embroidery designs. They can have more than one color and be made up of more than one piece or element. Essentially, any little embroidery design could be saved as a symbol for kind of simple and quick reuse. So if you do a lot of baseball embroidery designs, then you might want to have a symbol for baseball to incorporate in your designs. And so first of all, the main idea is that you click on the symbol tool to interact with your symbols, and they're on the right. And so you simply click on the menu. If you know that you're looking for one, you can type the letter. So if I type the letter S, it will bring me directly down to the Santa's hat or scales, etc. And so if you know what you're looking for, it's kind of the fastest way to get it is to maybe just type the first letter or simply browse through. Now I got a warning that told me that I created my motif, and that motif had some long stitches, and you can kind of see them. It's probably the bottom of the scales here. And so, you need to understand that when you use symbols, that you are in control of the size of the design, and that if you do get a warning, it's simply letting you know that you've made a satin stitch that's kind of long, and you could do something about it. Essentially, you could select your design and assign a different style of stitching, if need be, to get rid of any long stitching like that. So the cool thing about it is you can change it if you want to, and so it's not hard to do. But all that said, how would I make my own symbols, Trevor, and add them to this list? So, and I think that's where it gets, exponentially cooler. So I'm going to just start an empty workspace and then look for some embroidery. So of course we can look to our library and our free monthly designs. And if you look in December of 2024, free monthly designs, there's a beautiful design that says Holly Jolly Christmas. And so I'm just going to open that up. I'm going to get rid of the text because I don't want that to be part of my symbol, but I thought it would be cool to have some holly and berries as a symbol. And so essentially I can select all of those pieces, and to make a new symbol, I use my tools drop-down menu where it says save symbol right here. And so I just go ahead and click on save symbol, and it goes right to the folder where all of my symbols are. And I could easily call this one Holly and click save, or maybe you want to call it Holly number 1 because you plan on having different ones, but any name you want to give it, it doesn't matter. Now, if we want to create with our new symbol, we would click on the symbol tool, and then we would click here to select our symbol, and we could type H for Holly, and it will take me down to the heart. And then from there, I can scroll the rest of the way to find the Holly. And now if you click and drag, you can create more Holly in your, new embroidery designs with Holly. And so these are called symbols. And really, it's a special way to save and interact with your embroidery designs. Once they're saved as a symbol, then you can make copies of them by clicking and dragging. And to make them from scratch, you would simply create your embroidery, however you create it. But once you select one or more pieces, you simply say tools and then use the option to save symbol. That would be another way just to finalize if you wanted to manage the symbols. So if you needed to delete one that you made, if you pretended to save one, that does bring you right to the folder where everything is. And at that point, if there was one that I didn't want, that was maybe not meant to be in here, I could select it. And then I could, use the right click to delete it, sort of thing. And so you could use this to manage and or rename the files in your symbols folder. If I wanted to rename one, I could click on it and then right click, and gives me different options like rename or delete. And so if I choose rename, then it kind of opens up the option to, calling this bear 001, and then we're all set to add more bears. Does that make sense? So when I'm done, I can simply say cancel because I wasn't really saving one as much as I was just trying to get to the folder to manage it. And now that you're, ready to use your motifs, you simply click on your symbol tool, and there's all the symbols. And if it was B for bear, I could just type in B, and now it's called bear number 1. Just in case you want to have a collection of little bears in your symbols collection. And so I hope you enjoyed this week's RNK Software Club's video for the week, how to save a symbol. Until next week, have a great day. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.